Hey guys, welcome back. We're gonna have a little bit of a ground workout today. That's why I'm on the ground, of course. So you're gonna change from your stand-up position from last time. We're gonna be down on the ground, so I want you to find a nice place on the floor. Make sure you have plenty of space. And sometimes I'll be a little bit further away from the camera, so you may not be able to see all the detail, but it's some of the things that we've constantly been working on as far as your shrimping and the shrimp positions. And we're gonna work on a little bit of fine detail with the shrimping up and down at the 3 different levels. So you know that the 3 levels are, the first level that you learned, of course, is just being back here with your hand behind you, your kickstand, and of course, you're on one hip, knees facing straight up. You have this nice protection with the connection with the elbow and the knee. Jiu-Jitsu is a lot about connections and positions of your body, so I want you to pay special attention to the position of your body and how you flow through your warm-up drills, and that's some skill set that you'll carry throughout your jiu-jitsu practice when you come with drilling with your partner and then eventually having a roll with someone. So all those techniques and skill sets work together. So I'm thinking about my knee, my elbow, and I have that nice protection there. My other knee is facing the wall or going out, similar to that fighting stance in that L-shaped position, and my feet are a little bit tucked in towards me. And of course, I have my hand out behind me with my kickstand position. So this is your kickstand position and your nice L with your legs and your connection here for a possible opponent that can be approaching you from the forward position. So we're gonna be working on the shrimp position. A lot of times when we go through the shrimp warm-up, your hips are dragging. So I want you to imagine if you're out maybe at the beach somewhere. Think about beach days, out in the sand and you're playing, or maybe you're out in the yard and you're playing, and if you were to shrimp outside, or if you were to shrimp on the beach, you would see this long line behind you, and that would leave a trail. So if we were trying to track you, we could easily find you because we could see that trail. So when we shrimp down the floor, we don't want to leave a trail. We don't want to drag our backside down the mat. We want to lift our hips as we're shrimping forward. So that's what we're going to focus on this technique, is to lift your hips as you're moving forward, so you're not dragging, okay? So find a position. Make a connection, elbow, knee, making the L. You have your kickstand, your feet come out, lift the hip, and pull your hips toward your heels. So again, lift your feet up, get that distance, now lift, and you have your shrimp. So now we're gonna go side to side. If you don't have enough room, that's okay, you can make nice little short shrimps, but just make sure that you're lifting your hips up when you move. Lift, lift, and lift. Now we can go back. Lift, 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 and lift. So there should be no dragging, just lifting the hips. Feet and lift, feet and lift, feet and lift, feet and lift. And back, lift, back, lift, back, lift, back, lift. Very good. All right, ready? Shrimp position at the kickstand. Ready, go. Shrimp, shrimp, let's go. Gotta have you guys moving, moving, moving. Keep going. Keep going. All right. Back at the beginning. What's your position like? It's the same place you started? Still have your connections? Still have your position? Very good. Same thing. Now we're to our elbow. To our elbow. Same movement. Same hips coming up. Ready. And go. Good job. Last position is where? On our shoulder. On our shoulder. Right here. Right here. Onto your side. So now your foot's going to have to do a little bit of extra work. Ready? My hands are up. And go. Come back. And back. Okay, the other thing that we need to talk about is our hips. We can talk about having your hips up in certain positions. And the one that really pays off really well is, of course, if someone's in the mount position. And you know what the mount position is? Who knows the mount position? I should see hands going up. Okay. So if someone's on top and I need to bridge, I can't just easily just bridge and lift my hips because they already know that's what you're going to do. So you have to put a little bit more effort into it. So let's get to where you can see. All right. So my opponent is on top. Need to bring my feet in as close as I can to my hips. And then you can do some stretching if you want to be able to move a little bit tighter. Now when you bridge, you know to lift your hips. Let's see how much space that is. I can barely get my hands into that space. That's because I'm not really lifting my hips. I really have to exaggerate that movement of lifting my hips to lift my opponent up. So we're just going to work on getting the hips up. Now there's some distance there. That's having my hips up versus this position. So I need to come straight up. And now you see the angle from my knee to my hips. It looks like I'm climbing up a mountain. That's having your hips up. So that's the first part of the bridge. Now the bridge, we're not just going to stay on the back of our shoulders. Is that we're going to have to get on the side of your shoulder. You're going to have to take that arm and go to your left or to your right. But just don't get into the habit of, because that's just rolling side to side. No rolling side to side. We want to lift straight up and to go to our left shoulder or our right shoulder. So now you're going to work on our bridges, making sure you have your hips up, making sure you're taking your hips and you're pointing your hips in the direction that your opponent should be going towards, and making sure you're nice and up on your shoulders. So getting all those points of your technique is important. So I want you to think of it in parts. I need to make sure that my knees are up, bringing my feet towards my body. I'm laying down. I'm getting my hips to go straight up. I'm getting to my shoulder, so I should be this way. But guess what? My hips are not up at this point. So this is bad. Don't do that. So my hip right here, it has to point into that direction. And when my hips point and I lift my hips, I stay on my shoulder, my opponent should be going to that side. But my hips are really pointing the direction of my opponent. So note that that power is coming off from the hips, and you're guiding it with your shoulder position, with your arm position, guiding your opponent off the top of the mount position. So here we go. Everyone on your back. Bridges. Ready. Begin. So when you have quiet time, you're on the floor watching TV, or you need a break from doing homework, think about your bridges. Work a few bridges. You're right there reading a book, you're drawing, watching TV, playing a video game, you're taking a break. Guess what? Perfect place to work your bridges.